Joey Cavo podcast. I am Joey Cavo. We've been in a series called Scleroderma for the past, this is going on our fourth one. And I have two great people. I have Amanda and Dan, who were diagnosed with scleroderma. And the ringleader, quote unquote, that got this started has been having problems again. So hopefully we'll get her in, and hopefully maybe Katie will show up as well. Katie is the president of the board of the Delaware Valley Scleroderma chapter. And so we're going to rehash this again. So first of all, guys, thank you again for coming on. Before we get started, I was telling them about how great October we've had with Jayna Swan, a love and intimacy coach, and Blue Bloods actor Gregory Jbara. Two great podcasts. You've got to listen to them. If you haven't listened to them or look at the YouTube channel, you got to check it out. If you check the YouTube channel at the bottom, there are a whole lot of people that I'm promoting at the bottom, including Scleroderma.org, the website that these great people are affiliated with indirectly. So Amanda, we're going to start with you. Again, rehash your story. Every time we're going to do this, because hopefully we can get more. But go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, so I'm Amanda. I'm 30 years old. I was diagnosed just over 2 years ago with scleroderma. I noticed that my hands were getting really swollen, and I couldn't fit like rings on my fingers. Everyone kind of said that it was summer swelling and that it would go down. And I said, no, this is something completely different. I went to my doctor, and thankfully, my doctor has known me since I was a baby and was like, something's wrong, go to a rheumatologist. And that's when they found scleroderma. I was put on some medicine to help, and that did take down the swelling. And mostly I had like tightening of my skin, joint pain, swelling in my fingers. And now I'm off that medication. So I have the skin tightening and joint pain and swelling, and that's all back.
All right, great. All right, and you're in North Jersey, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta clarify that. Yeah. Now, Dan is our main Pennsylvania guy. So, Dan, take the floor.
I was diagnosed in '99, so I've had it 22 years now. I was just thinking today. There's a scleroderma friend. I don't know if I should mention his name. I guess I won't. But
just mention the first name if you're going to do it.
His name is Jacob. He's in the hospital right now, and he's been dealing with quite a few issues. He's been a fantastic advocate for the foundation. Okay. He helped me out in getting the governor's proclamation in Pennsylvania for Scleroderma Awareness Month, and gave me some good pointers as to what to do and how to get that. Anyway, we've been praying for him and hoping for the best. Today he's undergoing a surgery called ablation, where they go into your heart and they burn parts of your heart so that the flow is steady. He's dealing with AFib.
Okay.
And I realized I had that done, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And I'm thinking to myself, every time I hear anybody online who's dealing with something, I'm like, yeah, I did that. I remember having done that in 22 years between the lung transplant, the ablation. I've had the paddles. I can't think of the name of what. Hi, Katie.
Hi. The paddles are called defibrillators.
Yeah, we're going to get to it in a minute. We're going to let Dan finish up. The ringleader is still having device issues, just to let you guys know. So,
but anyway, between the lung transplant, right heart caths. I feel like I've been through just about everything everybody else has dealt with. I've gone through all of it. I'm sure there's a few things that I haven't dealt with, but the ablation is certainly something I recall. It was a 6-hour procedure, but it went off without a hitch. So since that time, I've been doing much better.
Okay. All right, Katie.
Anyway, that's what I'm dealing with.
You
Okay.
had a 6
All right,
hour
Katie.
ablation.
Good night.
How are you, Joey?
I'm doing fine, Katie.
Good. I'm
Look,
sorry to be late again.
Yeah, believe me, the regulator is still having problems, and that's been 25 minutes we're talking about, guys.
But she's been trying.
I know. She knows that. These guys know I love to bust on her chops.
I know you do.
Really do. I really love busting on her chops, and if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have had these town halls. Before I have you go explain your end, and I didn't mention you in the beginning, Katie, being the president of the board on the Delaware Valley chapter for Scleroderma. What I'm going to suggest is the next town hall we do, if one of you lets Kathy know that you want to bring one of your, because I know that Amanda and Dan host support groups. If you go to your support group and somebody's interested in telling their story, we have enough on here that we could do 6. Okay? So when Kathy ever gets on, there's 5. So just let Kathy know when we go to plan the next one. Because I want to try to get, more. Believe me, I love you. I'm glad you guys come on every month. It's great. But we got to add some new blood. You see where I'm coming at? We got to get some more stories out and try to, because at the bottom of the screen, Katie, I've been doing so many podcasts with different people, like Kimberly Kravitz, and I was telling the guys that I just did one with an actor from the CBS hit drama Blue Bloods. That was the last podcast I officially did. So, and I did an 11 intimacy coach in the beginning. So they're all promoted at the bottom of the screen. And towards the end, I have Scleroderma on there. So if, to promote the Scleroderma website. So you may see it about 20 times, not even 20 times for the amount I put on there. But go ahead, Katie. Let's continue with you, and then we're going to go to the next step.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Explain your story. We're going to rehash the story.
Okay. In 2013, I was, as most women my age were, handling menopause.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 53 at the time, and I went to see my gynecologist, and she made the mistake of asking me how I was doing. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I said, this is horrible. I've never gone through anything like this. I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm irritable, I just can't even stand being around myself. Mm. And she said, well, and I said, and you won't give me any drugs because of my family history. Mm-hmm. So she turned to me and said, what family history? And I mentioned that there's a lot of blood clots in my family, pulmonary embolisms, deep vein thrombosis. My mother had 11 pregnancies and 5 live births. So she says, oh, there's something we should test you for because of that. I never knew about that. I said, well, you're not going to give me hormones because hormones put you at risk for blood clots. So she did an ANA on me, which is a test. It's a blood test called the anti-nuclear antibody. Okay. Apparently, women with lupus often, and other, there's this other blood test called the antithrombolypin antibody. Basically, it's people who clot a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up, yes, I do have the antithrombin thing, but I also had a positive ANA. So I said, okay, well, what does that mean? She says, it doesn't mean anything. We have to check it again in 3 months. And if it's still positive, then it could mean that you have some kind of autoimmune disease going on.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 months later, the gynecologist had changed practices. And so I couldn't find anybody. Who called my primary, said, would you order the test for me? And he said, sure. So it came back positive again.
Mm-hmm.
So then the doctor said, well, what do you want to do about it? And I said, well, you think I should go see a rheumatologist? And he said, well, it's up to you. How do you feel? I said, I feel okay, but I would like to know what's going on. So I made an appointment, went to see a rheumatologist.
Mm-hmm.
And as he was asking me questions, more and more I was saying things like, yes, as a matter of fact, I have had that. Yes, as a matter of fact, I did have that kind of symptoms. So at first he thought, well, there's really nothing going on with you. Couldn't really see a lot. But because he had suspicions, he said, okay, let me do one more thing. And he got his, that scope they look in your ears in and your nose.
Yeah.
Put some Surgilube, which is like a clear gel on right by my nail beds, and looked with that scope into my nail beds, and my they call them capillaries. Capillaries were abnormal.
Okay.
Which can be a symptom of scleroderma. So he sent in a bunch of tests, including Sjogren's and scleroderma and lupus, because lupus is what they were worried about with the clotting thing. And the one that came back was anticentromere, which is the typical one for limited systemic sclerosis. So I have the limited form. It is systemic. I hardly have any outer manifestations of it. I have a few telangiectasias. I have really dry skin. I kind of have a Sjogren's overlap. Sjogren's is another autoimmune disease. It causes damage to your salivary glands and the other glands that make moisture in your body. So my damage is mostly internal. It's mostly my GI system. I have a lot of muscle aches, pain. I'm getting the puffy fingers and the achy hands, things like that. But I'm not a typical scleroderma patient by any means.
Right.
And since I'm lucky enough to not be horribly sick, I met a lot of people the first year I went to the conference to find out more about the disease. And I met a lot of people with the disease. And also I'm a nurse by trade. I had learned about the disease in school. Between the two things, I thought, well, if I ever have time, I'm going to try to help out, because right now I have the energy, and hopefully I'll continue to have the energy. A lot of people with scleroderma don't have the energy, or if they do try to be really active, it's harder. It's harder on them.
Yeah. Our fearless ringleader has been chatting on the side. She says, "Hi everyone, I'm having trouble getting in again." I said, "I know, I'm picking on you." I said, double check your devices. She's double checked and they're not connecting. So I don't know.
Is your internet working?
Yeah.
In your settings, is your internet working, Kathy?
Hold on. I'm letting her know. So,
I was going to say, Katie, I can relate a lot to a number of the things that you said. As I was saying a little earlier, every time I hear something that somebody's gone through, I realize, oh yeah, I went through that too. I have gastroparesis, of course, and that's really been an issue lately. I can't eat more. I've been losing weight simply because I don't want to eat. Because when you eat, you feel nauseous, and who wants that? So you just tend not to eat. Um, the fatigue has been really pretty bad. But a lot of the issues that you just described. I've had pulmonary embolisms. I was in the hospital for. I had internal bleeding. They put me on one of the drugs. I can't think of the name of it now. That thins your blood, and then I wound up with internal bleeding, and so they had to take me off of that. But I've dealt with a number of the same issues that you just went on with, and I know it's tough.
Okay. Katie, I did tell Kathy, I told her to check her ISP. So, like, internet settings, I said yes. Well, she said yes. And then I told her about what I told you guys about if someone in your support group wants to give their, come on and tell their story, because that way we can get a little more of, how, how your support groups that you do work for others that you work with. So now for those wondering why I brought up scleroderma and why I've been very focused on sclerodermas, I know a couple people who have it. One unfortunately passed away. Matter of fact, almost a year ago, in about 2 weeks, it would be a year that this person passed away. Her daughter went to school with me, and I knew them for a very long time. And then not long after that, her father passed away, but not from scleroderma. But she had scleroderma for about the same time you had, Dan. A little more than 22 years, I believe, though. But like I said, I went to school with her daughter, and it really hit more. And then I have a personal friend who has it as well, and so I've been trying to get because I know the last time that we did this, I was trying to get an extra person to come in and maybe try to get more questions out to for you to explain. And I also I did mention earlier about Kimberly Kravitz, who's a anchor for New Jersey Network News via MeTV2 New York. So, wait a minute. Hold on one moment here.
While you're dealing with that, Joey, I just wanted to add one of the things about scleroderma is that it's so diverse in its symptoms that and that's what I think confused a lot of doctors is that many patients have different symptoms than I do. I have different symptoms than maybe Amanda or Katie. I know one of the members of our group, and I'll talk to her, see if she would like to be part of the podcast.
Well,
and see if she would like to join in and explain some of the things that she's going through.
Right. And that's why I'm, because now, if Kathy got in, I can't get to her because let me do this. Let me boot. Bear with me, guys, because we got her. We finally got her.
I know. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Kathy.
Sing the top of your head, Kath.
Yeah.
Sing down a little.
Wait a minute.
Look,
Okay.
Yeah,
There we go. Yay.
wait a minute. It's not letting me add her.
Huh.
Oh, great. Here we go, Katie. Last time it was you. This time it's her.
Oh, God.
It's giving me an issue, folks, getting Kathy in. We we picked on the poor woman enough.
Yeah.
But it's giving me an unresponsive trying to get Kathy in.
I
So
can see
Kathy,
her.
bear with me.
Here.
I can
Okay.
see her.
Yeah, we
Hi,
can see
Amanda.
her. That's
Hi,
a good
Hi,
thing.
Katie.
It's trying to get her on because remember the last time we did this, it like crashed on us. Now it's
Huh.
Now,
Hi,
now
guys.
Joey's back. Hey, Kathy.
Hi.
How are
Did we
you?
lose Joey?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
apparently.
did.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll.
Amanda, I heard about you. I feel so bad. Oh my God.
Thank you. It's okay. I go to a surgeon tomorrow. For
And
consultation.
where are you going? Up north and they're Fleming?
Yeah,
Flemington?
yeah. 10 minutes away from me is the hospital. So
You're not working, are you?
I'm working from home. So
Okay.
my boss has been very kind about that.
okay.
Okay.
There we go. Now we got it. There we go. Now I'm back. All
Okay.
right. We got everybody. Kathy's about darn time.
Oh my God. You know what? I tried. I don't know what happened. I just couldn't get in. You guys are all killing me today.
You guys want to vouch for me that I've been picking on her for the past, 25 minutes, 30 minutes?
I heard
Yeah,
you though.
yeah.
I heard you.
But we love you, Kathy. Okay. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for getting this started. So Kathy is one of the board members for the Scleroderma Delaware Valley chapter. She has been a big supporter of this podcast and has gotten this town hall together. And I did tell the others, and I did text it to you in the private chat, that we're going to try to I have room for one more person when we do these live chats.
Okay.
So what I asked the other three is if somebody in their support group wants to come on and tell their story and see how the support groups really support them and how much of a difference they make to do it. Just to let you know when we do it.
I heard the whole conversation. I just couldn't get in.
Oh, you heard the whole conversation. Okay. All right. So she heard it all. So she heard how much we picked on her. All right, Kathy, since you're the late one and crashed the system again, last month it was Katie. This time it's you. So you're the last one. Going to tell your story real quick, and then we're gonna pick on you a little more.
Oh, okay. My name is Kathy. I was diagnosed in 1995. I had systemic scleroderma. I had intestinal problems. I couldn't go to the bathroom for like weeks at a time. And my skin hyperpigmented on my face. I lost my hair. I now wear a wig. I had my hands got tight. And I had like a lot of stomach problems. I couldn't really eat from 1995 and all the way up. And they tried to figure it out, and they finally did. So at this time, I'm doing okay. I'm on TPN. I get fed through a tube.
Okay.
Also, that I just found out like 3 weeks ago, I have nerve damage in my face, on my right side of my face, due to collagen inflammation on my nerves. And I have gastroparesis, so but you know what, life's good, keep on going.
Yep. That's a good thing. And that was going to be the next step we were going to go to, is what the progress was going on with you guys. And so Kathy, since you started that part, Kathy last month, as we had our last town hall, did a car show down in the Sicklerville, New Jersey area.
Yep.
And how did we do?
We did pretty good. For the first year, it was pretty good. I mean, I had great volunteers. I had I think it was 35 cars, but there was 5 other events going that day. But I think it was a very good turnout. The volunteers were excellent. And you know what? Next year, a matter of fact, just booked it last week for April 9th, same place.
Good.
And I also just booked another one. Dan, I got to tell you, I changed the date of May in Carlisle to May 7th, because May 21st, there's things going on at Scleroderma. There's a seminar going on, and there's a lot of car shows on that day. So it's going to be May 7th.
Okay, I just wrote it down.
Okay.
Okay,
So
thank
we're
you.
going to have one in April in Sicklerville, and we're going to have one in May in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and we also have a webinar coming up. Webinar November 17th this year, and then May 21st we have a doctor talking. So we have doctors, and it's going to be at Virtua. Katie can explain that.
Actually, May 21st is the event at Lancaster General Health.
Okay, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're going to have a patient education day, probably 2 or 3 speakers, maybe more, depending, at Lancaster General Health. We're trying to make it a little closer to the people who live further out from Philadelphia. We do tend to do a lot of stuff in Jersey and right around Philadelphia. So this is a little bit further out. And we're going to have also an educational event April 23rd.
That's what it was, Katie. That's what it was.
April 23rd at Virtua Voorhees at their Health Education Center.
Okay.
And for that one, we're actually going to offer continuing medical education credits.
Great.
And so physicians or nurse practitioners, physician's assistants can get credit if they come to some of the events and learn about scleroderma. And part of the problem with scleroderma, as Dan said, it manifests in such different ways. Some people find out because their skin is very obvious. They're all of a sudden they have sausage hands, like their fingers are so fat and everything, or some people will get a lot of ulcers on their fingers, or maybe someone's first symptom can be shortness of breath. And the problem with that is sometimes people already have asthma or something else or some other reason. Maybe they're overweight. So they go through a whole bunch of different slew of tests before somebody thinks, well, maybe we should have them see rheumatology. And then they finally get diagnosed. I think some of the people that have heart problems or lung problems sort of don't get diagnosed as fast because it's not as obvious. It's not as obvious because there's multiple reasons why you could have heart problems and multiple reasons why you can have lung problems. Puffy fingers is sort of stereotypical of somebody with scleroderma.
Okay.
Usually it's scleroderma. It's not always. It could be allergic to something or something else going on, but so we need the doctors to know a little bit about when to refer to rheumatology because that'll help people get diagnosed earlier.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
So repeat those dates for me because I go to see my primary right before Christmas. And I want to bring that up to her. So that way she can't say a patient's teaching her a lesson. Not that I, no.
Well, these won't be patients teaching doctors. These will be doctors teaching doctors. We generally have physicians, psychologists, or someone with some medical degree of some type doing the education lessons. We do occasionally have patients where they talk about what they've been through and various things like that. But in most cases for continuing medical education, it would be a physician teaching a physician.
Right. No, I understand. But I'm saying when I go to my primary to tell her about this, I'm saying is a patient teaching a doctor. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I was looking at. So what was the date for the one in Virtua Voorhees?
I believe it's April 23rd.
April 23rd. Okay. And the one for now, because the one with Lancaster, is that
May
working
21st.
with the for the one in Lancaster? Is that also going to serve the Philadelphia doctors? If I mentioned this to her, I'm talking about my personal doctor.
Well, I don't have any continuing education credits set up for Lancaster General at this point. The thing about continuing medical education credits is it's sometimes it's expensive to pay for them because there is some administrative costs and various things involved.
Mhm.
Like they have to keep track of licenses and addresses and
Right.
send out certificates, and you have to pay money to be someone who can give I don't know how to say the word, accreditation.
Accreditation, yeah.
Virtual has that already in order to teach their own physicians, but to have a joint effort between the Scleroderma Foundation of Delaware Valley and Virtua, we're paying them a small fee. And they've actually given us a break on their fee. So it was very nice of them to do so. But that way we can kind of try to attract some doctors to the event.
All right. So I will mention this to my primary doctor. Hopefully she may be interested. That way, if she's ever come across it or does, she can, if she has questions about it and she goes, she can ask them. So, all right. So we got this continuing medical education starting with Virtua in April 2022. We have car shows in April
9th in New Jersey,
and
May 7th in Carlisle.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yep. We also have excuse me 1 second. We have one Wednesday, November 17th, and that's going to be online. That's a webinar.
Oh, okay.
An online?
Yeah, that's a webinar with Dr.
No, that's a webinar. Yes, that's an
educational. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now, Kathy, if you look at the bottom, towards the end of the banner that's going across the bottom of the screen, Scleroderma.org is out there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. There's so much on there because of the previous guests I've had on and an upcoming that I posted, I've been promoting them as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but at the end is you guys. So I had to edit that banner out. I had to extend it out because it's also got the because I also have a believe it or not, there's a merchandise website for this podcast. So it's shop.spreadshirt.com/life-with-joey-calva. And on there is like t-shirts, hoodies, onesies for babies. And it's got the podcast logo on it. Okay. And I did that for nothing. So I mean, that might be something that you guys might want to look into. And maybe you could try to lean towards that and try to I don't know if that'll help raise money for you guys. Because it didn't cost me anything to start that. So Kathy, I'll give you that website later on. Okay. And then you can check into it. And if it sounds interesting enough, go for it. Because I mean,
is it profitable? Is it profitable for you?
I've only done one sale.
Okay.
Out of the whole time. But I mean, if you guys promote it well enough, it could be. And then you make a portion. The prices are set because of the design and everything. So, like, one of my classmates actually turned around and literally said, "Oh, I bought one of your mouse pads." I said, "Oh, so you're the low buyer." I was like, and I made $5.10 off of it.
See, right now, if we're going to do that, it's going to cost us money to do the promos and then do it online. If we're going to make $5, right now it's not worth it.
Oh, no, but I'm saying if you check out the website, my website, you can see, what I did.
Okay.
And it, like I said, it didn't cost me anything to do it. So I mean, if you check it out, you'll see. Yeah. Okay. So, so Amanda, you're we put you out of the equation on all these other promotions. You have anything special up by you that you're looking into or trying to that you want to promote?
Nothing yet. Hopefully we'll have something in the works. Kathy, Dan, and Katie heard a little bit about it. I actually was diagnosed with gallstones. So I have to go have surgery to have my gallbladder removed. I go to a surgeon tomorrow. So everything for me is kind of on hold. I don't even know if I'm going to have my support group this month because it depends on when my surgery is.
Right.
Yeah, let Kathy know to keep me updated, because that way we can, keep you in mind in prayer and all that.
So Amanda, I have to ask you: do you know? Is it like emergency surgery or?
It's getting to that point. I went to the emergency room 2 Wednesdays ago, and with a really bad attack, they said that there was nothing they could do. That they did the ultrasound and saw that I had gallstones. Couple days later, on that next Monday, I had another attack, and then on Thursday, I had a third attack. I went to my general doctor, and he got me in to see a surgeon. I was supposed to go November 2nd, and he bumped it up a week, so I actually go tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's getting to the point where it's almost an emergency at this point. I've been having 3 attacks in 1 week is not normal.
No. And like I said, we'll keep you in prayer and everything, Amanda. I mean, I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Right, me too, Amanda. I had it done. I went there, so
yeah.
I'm hoping that they can get me in as soon as possible, because the last attack I was eating chicken and salad, so nothing even.
Oh wow.
So plain and basic, and so I'm like Dan. I haven't been eating anything because I'm too scared to eat.
Oh wow.
That's why that's why I'm on TPN, because what happened in April, my stomach, my stomach was just blown up all the time. My stomach and my intestines, and I had an ileus a couple of times, and then I got a blockage, and I mean, I was down to 77 pounds. It was not good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And finally today, my nurse comes every week, and I weigh 93.5. So from April to now with TPN, that's good. That's really good.
Congratulations. That is what, like I said, this is why I love having you guys on, because it gets me more fun to have, besides picking on Kathy for the first couple minutes and she couldn't get on. But hearing all these great stories. I mean, my story is on the opposite side. For you guys, when we did the last town hall, I had just started to apply for disability because of the anxiety and depression. Well, I've been having a groin issue now, where if I'm walking or climbing steps, all of a sudden I can feel my groin hurting. Not like a sharp pain, but like you could feel like a pain. And it was like to the point where it was getting into the pelvic area. And I went to the emergency room, and they're like, as soon as I sat down, it was gone. And I said to him, as soon as I sat down, the pain was gone. So now I'm having one of those. I have a friend who's a nurse who I tried to get on, and she actually did a podcast for me before, when the person that the close person that I know was diagnosed, and she did a whole podcast on Scleroderma just for me. And when she did it, I played it, and so I was trying to get her on because she's been kind of my quote unquote nurse on the side for a little, for a long time. I mean, we went to school together, and I told her about this pain, but it feels like it's numb. But when you rub the side of the left leg, you can feel like, I don't know if it's a muscle pedal or it could be sciatica. So that's something I'm maybe checking out. So I may be back in the may go to the hospital and get it checked out right away. But that's neither here or there on Scleroderma. Hopefully not. Well, definitely not. But you never know these days.
No. Dan, I was going to ask you, have you talked to your doctor about different eating, if they could do a tube feeding or anything? I mean, I know it's extreme, but TPN.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Of course, I was I was on tube feeding for 6-7 months
Right,
after my
right.
lung transplant, and right now I didn't care for that at all.
Okay.
But I know, if I have to do that, I'll wind up doing that again. But I just deal with the nausea. But I eat less. I try to eat fewer meals and less of the meal,
Yeah.
and that seems to help. So I was going to say something, Joey. I hope you don't mind my
No, go for it.
interjecting.
Go for it.
With Amanda's situation is very similar to a number of other people around the country, where we're trying to run support groups, and we ourselves are dealing with these issues, and it's a hindrance. It really is a factor.
Yes.
I had to cancel our September meeting because of my anemia. I was down in Philadelphia actually last week to see my pulmonologist at Penn, and
Oh, so I could have waved. I could have waved at you then.
possibly, yeah,
Yeah, I could have waved at you.
I was the one that took a tumble on the sidewalk.
Are you kidding
Oh.
me? Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
outside the hospital. My
Oh wow.
my wife dropped me off because we couldn't get parking, and we couldn't get
Ballet.
valet. Thank you. Another example of brain fog.
Did you go to the Perelman Center?
Yes, Perelman Center. I was right in front of the Perelman Center when I took a dive.
No, but I'm saying the parking lots. They were full this early. That early?
The parking lot was, the Perelman parking lot. The garage was full. Then we went around and we asked if we could go to to valet, and they said, yeah, sure. We got the valet. That was full.
Mm-hmm.
And they said you have to drop your patient off. So my wife dropped me off, and
Wow.
I took a tumble. And
Wow.
the upside is that they immediately got a wheelchair for me, and they wheeled me to my appointment, which was nice.
Oh, that's
So
great.
maybe I'll
What
do
was
that more
wrong with
often.
him?
I don't know.
Yeah, what was wrong?
Yeah, Dan.
But-
Continue on. No,
but
Kathy
that's-
asked you what happened. What wind up?
What happened? Oh, I was just lightheaded, dizzy, which is what I've been dealing with. My pulmonologist has referred me to a hematologist down there. I've got a hematologist up here. I've got a doctor for every part of my body, and now it appears that I'm going to have doctors in different parts of the state for the same body part. But I will be seeing the hematologist for the first time in December, and I guess we'll follow up and find out. They have a suspicion that it's a bone marrow issue, and but they're not sure yet. They're going to do some tests.
Well,
but it's it's frustrating because there's so much I want to do, and I collapse. I feel like, man, I just can't do this, and
Right.
Yeah.
it's a very frustrating experience. And,
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. And I'm glad you're okay.
yeah, frankly, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I fell down. I was more embarrassed than anything because they had about 5 or 6 people running. Are you okay? And I felt like an old man, which I am.
Don't say that, Dan. We don't say that around here. We say a little bit more positive than that.
All I have to do is look in the camera and see myself, and I know where I'm at. You don't have to tell me anything, Joey.
No. But we don't say old age. We don't.
Yeah.
Even though as much as I joke around on my end about it, but
anyway, I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
I didn't hurt anything. My knee hurt a little bit the next day, but other than that, I was fine.
Oh, I believe me, I still got the mark when I fell in Las Vegas. So, and all I did was trip in a parking lot, which was, I still try to figure out what I tripped up. I don't remember what I hit, but I fell in a parking lot, which was weird. But let me ask you this, Dan, since you were talking about a hematologist, did you have, because I had lab work done and my red blood cell count was high.
My my hemoglobin right now is 7.7.
That's not good, Dan.
I know.
No. Okay.
Tell me something I don't know, Kathy. I know.
Really, Dan, I can't believe that they're having you wait that long, though. Really.
Well, it had gotten down into the 6s,
Wow.
back in February, and I needed a transfusion.
Transfusion, yeah.
And,
They don't
Yeah.
usually let you go that much lower than 7.
Exactly.
No,
Right.
and that helped dramatically.
Right.
I mean, after
Right.
that, I was gung ho. I was ready to go.
Right.
And I'm sure that's part of the problem
Yeah.
with my anemia and my lightheadedness.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see what they have to say. And
Dan, do you
Yeah.
have iron infusions too?
I do. I just had one yesterday.
Okay. Do you feel better or?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I'm going for a B12 shot too tomorrow to see if that helps. That helped once. I'm hoping it helps again. So we'll see. You try everything and anything.
Okay.
Let's
So-
do this and see if this works.
Yeah. And keep us updated, Dan, on that as well.
Really?
So that way we can pass it along. The reason why I asked that is because, like I said, I had labs done, and mine. I think they said I think you couldn't go past. I think the level was like 5.8, and mine was like 5.82. I was like, kidding me. I was like, but they're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like,
I wouldn't worry about that.
yeah, because it was like 5.82, but at one time it was at 6. It was years ago, and I don't see the heart doctor. I don't see my heart doctor until my cardiologist until January, but I do see my pulmonologist on the 29th of November. So, and I go to Jefferson for mine.
See, I think I mean I'm gonna say I think with scleroderma patients, I'm not saying all, but a lot. I mean, a lot of us have anemia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a real lot, and that I've heard. Myself, I do blood transfusions. I just did it like 3 weeks ago, and I mean my nurse comes and they watch it, and then I just had my hematologist. Just did my PTTs were sky high. And they did, and so they came back with my 3 of my factors were high. So they're saying that I had acute. It was an acute stage.
Okay.
I never even knew that before.
Acute stage liver problems, or what are you talking about?
No, they said that I had my blood. I had the Van Brillenberg or something factor was sky
Von
high.
Willenbrand factor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy, you were losing your face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Katie, that factor was high, and there was 2 other factors that go with that one that were high.
All right.
How could they not know this?
This is why we make these town halls get to be interesting after a bit, because we wind up bringing more stuff in, which is really a factor into your stories that you explained time and time again, but each new stage that you're going through, it's always great to share, because it's like we try to get some of these viewers, and unfortunately, Kathy, I do have some bad news for you.
Okay.
Now, I was telling these guys, like you said, you heard the conversation. The last podcast I did was with an actor from the show Blue Bloods.
Right.
Before I did that podcast with him, you and I had 30 views on YouTube.
Okay.
He blew you out of the water. Literally. He literally blew you out of the water with 40. I think we're at 48 with him right now. Because I can actually check. I have an app on the phone where I can check every recording I've done for YouTube through here and all the other the Zoom and not Zoom. Yeah, I did Zoom, and I did this other one that I really didn't like because they never really came out great, where they cut me off, where I couldn't do a live chat like I could with you guys here. If anybody, and also when we get ready to do these podcasts, and we do set them up, let your support groups know.
Okay.
So that way because it's actually live streamed on YouTube.
Okay.
As we're talking right now, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, it says live. So that way they can come on here, and there's a comment section, and they can come on and say, hey, I have this question. And that's why I try to encourage people to do. And we're getting close to being out of time. Anything else that you guys want to bring up that's been research wise that's been updated?
I don't know. Katie, do you know of anything?
There was a drug that received orphan status, but I can't remember the name. It's one of those scientific names. The only thing I wanted to bring up is you're seeing mostly adults, and 3 out of 4 are in the older age groups. There are, unfortunately, hello, Dan. There are kids.
Yep.
Scleroderma. There are kids and young adults, 15, 18, sometimes 22. And it's really hard. It's a hard disease when you're a fully formed adult.
Yeah.
Close to fully formed, let me put it that way. But when you're a kid, it's just so hard. It's, you know.
I think that for me, that's one of the, I mean, there are times that I get depressed, and when I hear about kids dealing with this, I know how hard it's been for me, but it didn't hit me till I was like 45. To think of a kid having to deal with this in their teens. The person I mentioned a little earlier, Jacob, I know he was diagnosed in his teens, and now he's 39. He's been dealing with it for that many years.
Yeah.
And it's hard, you know, and it has an emotional impact on you. When you see people, we had a guy in our support group passed away 2 years ago. And, you know, several of my friends have passed away as well with this illness. And it's hard to watch and hard to deal with. And,
I watched the conference on Saturday. Kids get scleroderma too. And I can't tell you, it hurt, you know, it was sad.
It really does. It's you know, I know how hard it's been for me, and I can imagine, my God, to have to deal with that at that age. At least I had 45 good years, you know. I was healthy, and prior to my diagnosis, I don't think about the most medications I ever took was Tylenol. Suddenly, I'm taking like 20 pills a day. Life certainly changed with that diagnosis. You have scleroderma. It was a huge change.
Yeah. Definitely, and it's just very hard to think about dating or trying to get ahead in a career when you're facing the overwhelming fatigue and the pain, which can make you not want to go out or do anything, and it's hard for other people to understand.
Exactly.
And I had a very well-established marriage, and just even watching my poor husband go through it. I mean, I know what I'm feeling about it, but it didn't just change my life; it changed his life very much.
Same thing applies to my wife. She went through that lung transplant with me. We got a call at 5:30 in the morning from Philadelphia. I'm in the Harrisburg area. And we got a pair of lungs, so come on down. And so we left that morning, and we were there for 9 months in Philadelphia until we got back to our house again. Wow. It was the last time I saw my house, and my wife too. She stuck with me through the whole time. It was, it really changes your life.
You know, Dan, I relate. Last year I got sick in November, from November 4th to January 1st, and I couldn't see my husband at all.
Yeah.
And no holidays, nothing, you know.
Things like the telangiectasia. I was self-employed. And, I was a disc jockey. I did wedding videos, and I did wedding disc jockey work. And, of course, I had to have a bride and groom come talk to me ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And once the telangiectasia got to the point where it's very, I would wear makeup. Now I'm at an age where I just, you don't give a
Who
rat.
cares? Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't wear the makeup as much as I used to. But
Let me stop you guys for a minute.
Huh?
We got 4 minutes left of the recording wise, but if you want to go longer, we'll stay on the YouTube part longer.
Yeah.
Okay?
No,
So we can
I
an hour.
can shut up now.
Yeah. No, I'm saying the recording for the podcast only takes an hour and it cuts off.
Yeah, I
Is
see.
what I'm saying.
I'm
So if
looking
we
at
decide to go
now.
over the hour, we'll be on the YouTube longer. So that's fine. That's what I was saying. Giving you the heads up. We can continue this chat on. That won't be a problem. But for those, if the podcast cuts off in about 4 minutes, go to Scleroderma.org. If you know somebody who was diagnosed and they're looking for support, Scleroderma.org will give you the local chapter near where you live. Doesn't matter where. Even if it's outside the United States, you may be able to find somebody out there.
Also, Joey, I just want to plug the men's group again.
Yeah.
Like we did last month. It's Wednesday evening, this Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Again, go to the Scleroderma.org site, and they'll direct you to who you need to talk to. But the issues that they're discussing Wednesday is anemia, and it'll be interesting, and what you can do to cope with it. So,
okay. All right. So, like I said, if we get cut off on the podcast recording, we can still continue, guys. I did that with the last two guests. So we make it more fun that way. So whatever they miss gets caught on YouTube. So, so for those that get cut off on the podcast part, go over to the YouTube channel, and we will continue this discussion. So you can join us there. So, Dan, I apologize for cutting you off.
that's okay. I tend to go on and on.
No, it's fine, and that's what makes these town halls interesting.
Yeah.
And bringing the information out onto YouTube. And believe it or not, I actually did a curiosity thing one day. I turned around, I went on YouTube and I searched Scleroderma. And when I searched Scleroderma, one of the podcasts that we did popped up. I was like, yeah, I can see my podcast show up on the YouTube. I'm like, yay! Because I try to promote it like crazy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I was telling Kathy, I actually pulled up her report on Channel 3, and I saved it on my channel. So if you go to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel, and you scroll down, and if you're able to see the saved videos, you'll see Kathy talking to Stephanie Stahl from Channel 3 here in Philly. So Dan, continue on. Again, I apologize for cutting you off, but I was giving you guys a warning if we went past the recording time.
I don't know that things pop into my head, and then one of the symptoms of scleroderma is brain fog, and then I forget what I was going to say. So that could be a matter of my age as well as the scleroderma. I don't know, but I pretty much covered what I wanted to say. So you didn't cut me off.
Okay. Because we have a minute left in the recording, but if you want to go a little longer into the YouTube, we can. That's why I'm saying that.
Well, Joey, can I say something? Me and Katie went to a school last Wednesday for a little girl that has scleroderma, and talked to like the social worker or the teacher and a case manager, and tried to explain to them about scleroderma.
Wow. Yeah.
Katie, you want to say anything for that?
I thought it was a very good school. They seem to have a fairly good idea of how to help the young child without even completely understanding what scleroderma is.
Wow.
Although you can explain it to people, but I don't even know if I know that much about. I mean, I understand a lot of it, and I've read a lot of it, but to try to, I mean, it gets down to the microscopic level, and this enzyme and that enzyme and this little tiny hormone or something that's going to affect this thing. And so it's a challenge trying to figure it out. And partially because many of us, it's scleroderma. It's one disease, but it's more like a group of diseases. It's everybody not everybody, but many people have scleroderma, but they may have a different antibody that causes their scleroderma. And based on what type of antibody you have, that means that you're more likely to have these type of problems. It doesn't mean you will have them, but you're more likely to, and that they found out through research. So knowing your antibody and being aware of things as they go by, just trying to educate yourself by going to the conferences or going on YouTube and searching Scleroderma Foundation, and then make sure you're watching something that's from a reputable source. It's not really, it's not a disease you can cure by a diet. It's not a disease you can cure with herbs. It's, it's, yes, there is a mind-body connection. And if you feel that your diet is helping you, it may help you. However, it's not a cure. There is no cure at this time. And so be careful where you get your information.
Exactly.
You can trust the Scleroderma Foundation, probably the Scleroderma Research Foundation. I don't know the one out of Canada, what their name is, the European Scleroderma Foundation. Find something where it's medically validated, where there are people with MD next to their name, and they say that it's peer reviewed, and that's the information you should go for. And look at the year, please. Yeah, look at the year.
Kathy, as we're talking, and as Katie's been talking, the recording ended. So like I said, we're now on the YouTube.
Okay.
So we're just on YouTube now. Okay. So, I mean, we're going to continue if you want to continue as much as you want. But as we're talking, or as you guys are talking, I'm, setting up the recording part to send to you, Kathy, so you can send it out. All right. So if you feel I'm not listening to you, I am. But I'm also
okay. Thank you.
This is, believe it or not, folks, for those on YouTube, this is the recording. This is the actual recording.
I'll post it tomorrow.
Yeah. Because and then once the YouTube one comes up, which is usually a little bit after, I'll send you that link as well.
Okay.
Continue on amongst yourselves for a moment while I finish this up a minute.
Actually, if it's okay with everyone else, my husband just came home. I haven't seen him all day. I would like to.
Okay.
My husband just wants something to eat to bring it home so I don't have to cook.
Katie, thank you for coming on as always.
Thank you so much. Have a good
day. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Katie. See you tomorrow.
I got to go too, Joey. I'm sorry.
No, we can end it. We can end it here. That's fine.
Yeah.
You
Dan,
guys,
I'll be in contact with you.
Yeah, and then I can finish all this up and send it to Kathy. And then, like I said, whenever we do the next one, I don't know if we're going to do one in November. If we're going to do one in December, oh no, because holidays and everything with the holiday season. But if we do try to do one in November, it may be. Oh boy, Kathy, I'll keep you updated on it because I've got so many dates going on.
We got to get Dan better and Amanda better too before that.
Yeah, of course. And Amanda, I do hope that everything goes through.
I do too, Amanda. I'll be in touch with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And keep Kathy updated, keep me updated, so that way we can, that way we can fulfill it. when I do future podcasts, I can say, hey, this is what's going on for those that like the Scleroderma podcast, and so on. And definitely, like I said, Kathy, within a half hour, you'll have the link. All right?
Okay. And Dan,
Thank
you
you,
take
guys.
care of yourself too.
You too, Kathy. Thanks.
Dan, if you need anything, I'm going to be in touch with you. So I'll be
All right.
checking on
Sounds
both
good.
you two.
okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, thank you guys for always coming on. And you guys take care. And hopefully we'll try to do something before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All
As
right.
long as everybody's well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was telling them before very quickly, I'm trying to do what's called Nostalgic November.
Okay.
So I reached out to like celebrities back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and have them talk about their careers. So I've been reaching out to like Linda Carter and Kathy Ireland and all that.
Okay.
But I gotta try to squeeze you guys in at least one more time this year.
Okay.
And then December I do a year-end podcast, and I'm trying to do it from Vegas.
Okay. And make sure that I don't have trouble getting in again.
Yeah. Make sure. Yes. All right. You guys take care.
All right,
Take
you
care,
too,
guys.
Joe.
All right.
You too.
Bye now.
Praying for you, Amanda. Good
I'll
luck
be
to you.
thinking of
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
All
Bye-bye,
right,
all.
you guys
Bye.
take care. Bye-bye.
We're off the YouTube. You guys take good care. Keep me updated.
I will.
All right.
All right.
All right.